Imagine being accused of a crime in one of the greatest empires the world had ever known. Then imagine hearing that your punishment would become one of the most infamous stories in human history. For more than 2,000 years, one name has haunted historians: Scaphism. Today, everything we know about Scaphism as the most brutal execution ever devised comes from a single tradition written centuries ago. So where did this story come from? Was Scaphism truly a punishment carried out by ancient Persia? Or was it a tale shaped by political rivalry, repeated so often that it became accepted as fact? To answer that question, we must begin not with the punishment itself, but with the only man who left us its most detailed account. His name was Plutarch. He was a philosopher, biographer, and historian. Plutarch devoted much of his life to writing about famous leaders of the ancient world. Among his many works was a biography of the Persian King Artaxerxes II. Hidden within its pages was a story that would shape the modern understanding of Scaphism. Plutarch's account centers on one ruler, Artaxerxes II. He inherited one of the largest empires on earth, stretching from Egypt to Central Asia. Keeping such an empire together required more than military strength. It required loyalty, authority, and a justice system capable of protecting the king's rule. To understand the story of Scaphism, we must understand how seriously the Persian kings viewed loyalty. Crimes against the throne were never treated as ordinary offenses. In an empire held together by allegiance, challenging royal authority could be seen as threatening the stability of the entire state, and according to Plutarch, that is exactly what one soldier did. His name was Mithridates. He claimed he had killed a prince. That single claim would lead to one of the most controversial punishment stories recorded. The story of Scaphism begins with a struggle for power. In 404 BC, King Darius II died, and according to Persian law, his eldest son, Artaxerxes II, became the new king of the Achaemenid Empire. But not everyone accepted the new king. His younger brother, Cyrus the Younger, believed he possessed the strength and leadership to rule the empire himself. Refusing to recognize Artaxerxes' authority, he began preparing for rebellion. Secretly, Cyrus assembled an army unlike any seen before. Persian loyalists joined his cause, along with thousands of experienced Greek mercenaries who had crossed the sea to fight for gold and glory. In 401 BC, Cyrus marched east toward the heart of the empire. His objective was clear: to overthrow the reigning king and claim the Persian throne for himself. The two armies finally met near the village of Cunaxa, north of Babylon. There, brother faced brother in one of the most decisive battles in Persian history. As the battle raged, Cyrus made a desperate decision. Rather than defeating the entire Persian army, he charged directly toward his brother, hoping that killing the king would end the battle instantly. Cyrus reached the royal lines and wounded Artaxerxes. But moments later, he was struck down and killed. With their leader dead, the rebellion collapsed, and Artaxerxes remained king of Persia. Victory belonged to Artaxerxes, but one question remained unanswered: who had delivered the fatal blow that killed the rebel prince? But how Cyrus died quickly became a political question. Whoever claimed responsibility for killing the rebel prince would forever become part of Persian history. According to Plutarch, Mithridates stepped forward with an astonishing claim. He said it was his spear that had struck the fatal blow. At first glance, this sounded like an act worthy of honor. A soldier claiming to have defeated the king's greatest enemy might expect praise or reward. But royal history was carefully controlled. Officially, the death of Cyrus was already explained. By claiming personal credit, Mithridates challenged the version of events the king wished the empire to remember. Whether Mithridates spoke the truth or not, Plutarch tells us that the king viewed his words as more than simple boasting. They were interpreted as a challenge to royal authority. In the next chapter, we examine exactly what Plutarch claimed happened and why historians continue to debate it more than 2,000 years later. King Artaxerxes ordered a punishment unlike anything recorded in the ancient world. The condemned man, Mithridates, was not to be executed immediately. Instead, the king commanded that he should be subjected to a method called Scaphism. Plutarch wrote that two narrow wooden boats were brought together. In some later translations, these are described as hollowed tree trunks. The condemned man was placed inside one boat, while the second was lowered over him, enclosing nearly his entire body. Ropes were wrapped tightly around the two boats, binding them together so the prisoner could neither stand nor escape. Confined within the wooden shell, Mithridates could move little more than his head and the exposed parts of his body. According to the account, the punishment had only just begun. He was force-fed a mixture of milk and honey to induce diarrhea, a slow death, ensuring that he remained alive as the punishment continued. Looking so dejected, the prisoner's exposed body parts were coated with honey. He was slowly devoured by insects and vermin drawn to the honey and tracked feces, often suffering for days or even weeks. According to the Greek writer Plutarch, Mithridates remained trapped between the wooden boats for days before finally succumbing to his ordeal. Whether every detail of the account is historically correct remains a subject of debate among historians. Yet for centuries, the story of Scaphism has endured as one of the most disturbing punishments ever described in ancient literature. More than 2,000 years later, Scaphism continues to raise difficult questions not only about cruelty, but also about power. When rulers controlled the story, punishment became more than justice. It became a warning to everyone else.